glass up out that ring, you sweet just like some lemonade. You can hang with it, you're not even on your best day. You're not even on your worst day.
Yo, what it do? It's Coach Joey here with my co-host Even Hands Boxing. We are Fight Game News, and we back today to do our boxing recap over that amazing weekend of boxing. You heard?
And more.
Yeah. So what we starting off with, man? What we starting off?
I want to start off with, the elephant in the room. It's that Tank and Roach, and again, we spoke about this the other day on the live, and I don't have a problem with the draw, but if the New York State Athletic Commission, if they decide to change the decision, I won't be mad with it either.
Nah,
it's just one of them fights and one of them things and one of them circumstances that, yes, they call that knockdown all fucking day. You know what I'm saying? Because this is not sparring. You only do that shit. That's some sparring shit. You know what I'm saying? So outside of that, the towel, that could have been a disqualification right off, and it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? But hopefully they get it right. Or hopefully they just run it back. Just kill the nonsense and just run it back. We don't want the mess that became Haney and Garcia. We don't want that mess.
Listen, here's what my take is. All right, I'm a Tank fan, but I keep it a buck like if it was my fighter. Right? I thought he looked like shit. I thought it was the first fight that you saw that he truly tried to only use his power. Right? So when we talk about, we had this conversation, we went on live and we talked about it, and this ain't discrediting nobody, because the reality, when you come into a fight, you're going to have the one that's more skilled and the one that is not the most skilled, right? So when it comes into this type of fight, this is what it is. The guy who was supposed to do what he was capable didn't, right? Now, the person who took advantage of it was Roach. And he did an amazing job taking advantage of it. Not only did he sit in the booth and take the good shot, he also gave the good shot, right? Right out the rip, he made Tank, oh shit, right? But here's the problem. The guy who can move and the guy who can box on the outside if he had to, we didn't see the adjustment, right? So here goes my point. Even at the highest level of boxing, I'm going to tell you what I saw at the highest level.
Listen, do you think he got discouraged, Because you think he hit him as hardest and he got discouraged? But
people got to understand, man. Me being in that situation, I have seen our fighters go through things outside of the ring that eventually affect them inside of the ring. It's not an excuse. It's part of the game, right? But sometimes it happens to the best fighters. You know what I'm saying? That's where I'm trying to say that I ain't kicking somebody when every great fighter that we've ever watched, we've seen them have a bad fight, right? That's not discrediting Lamont Roach. Lamont Roach did what he should do. It's no different if Lamoli was in a fight with a guy that had more superior skills, right? But all of a sudden, that guy came to Lamoli's level by sitting in the booth, and Lamoli took advantage of that moment. That's what you should do, right? It's no different in sparring. Let me use an example. A lot of fighters go down to their competition. You'll see an A-level fighter all of a sudden box into this C-level shit. You're like, bro, what are you getting hit with? What are you doing, right? And then when you see them get in there with the guy that you got to respect, it's a different animal. So I just think there was a lot of didn't respect him. Even though he says he knew what he was capable of, he's still in his head, I'm going to dog this motherfucker.
All right, but so to be fair, don't you think Lamont, they fought before, so Lamont's been hit by his power before, so he knew what he was walking into. So maybe it didn't. Maybe he knew. We don't know
the last time they sparred.
Yeah,
last time they mixed it up.
Here's the thing that is like people try to discredit this guy. Like he can't fight. Like he's some kind of because he's not a known guy. Like he's some kind of bicho.
Before the fight happened, yes. I don't think a lot of people.
Even after, people talk about, man, you be seeing all kinds of crazy stuff. But what I'm saying is that the discredit of it, is like you don't get to this level and you don't get into these fights if you don't got something to offer, right? And people need to understand that.
But sometimes you got to make your name and make people understand it, right?
Right.
Real boxing people knew Roach could fight.
No,
right?
That's the same thing when Jermaine fought Lomachenko. You know, he made a name for him.
Stock went way up, right?
No, definitely.
But here's the thing we could say too, right? Tio everybody had Tio winning that fight. Or he was the favorite
to beat Lomachenko.
No. We have.
No, it's like Tio. Tio stock rose after he beat Lomachenko. His stock rose.
So I don't think it's not. It's okay to sit there and say Roach did his job. He did a hell of a job when they took advantage of the game plan. If you're gonna sit here with me, then I'm gonna sit here and let you know I'm here for that. This is what I like about it. Remember how we were talking the other day about guys talking about going out of their shield, right? Okay. He actually tried to win the fight. And the reason why he tried to do that is because he got in that fucking paint early and said, look, either I'm going to get knocked out not doing shit, or I'm going to get knocked out trying to win the fight, right? That's the big difference.
Listen, but you watch all through the week, through the press runs that Roach was.
Oh, everybody
he was confident as shit, son.
Hey. Listen,
he was confident.
He knew what he was able to do. Now, listen. Of course, you got to be confident. Ain't nobody gonna say I'm gonna let.
Yeah, but it's a different. It's a different.
What's the difference between
now that you look at it, you know what?
It's the difference of saying it and doing it. And
the other day, you know, when he was on what the hell was he on?
Breakfast Club.
On the Breakfast Club. There you go. And they said it, you know. Now, you know, I seen it today. And
what
now
the fuck I don't like get knocked out. Yeah, but now look. If we're gonna be honest, right? If we're gonna be honest, you have to look at the fight. You have to watch the fight.
I did. You know what? I got up that morning and watched it.
The first 6, Roach didn't land on the outside.
Yeah, but
Tank landed on the outside.
He won rounds there, though.
But what I'm saying is, this is where the adjustment gets made, right? You don't go have a fight and you don't go back and watch it and say, "Yo, this shit's on me. I should have moved."
Do you think Tank started gassing? That's why he stopped.
Nah, I don't think he's gassing.
Because after that 6th round, he really stopped. He really wasn't.
I honestly, I'm going to tell you what it is. I honestly feel, in my opinion, obviously everybody's got their own opinions. In my opinion, because I've seen it happen to my fighters, he went in there. He went in there and he didn't respect the person across from him. You can tell. When you watch him fight enough, you can see something wasn't the same. He just wasn't putting shit together. When you look at Frank Martin, he was touching. He landed a body shot here. Then he went back to touching. As rounds started going, he was placing the shots, right? What we didn't see when he went into here, we didn't see no pullback counters or nothing. All we saw was a guy try to land a hard shot. And when do we see Tank try to just not throw everything out the window without being defense responsible? Meaning, okay, if I throw my left, I need to make sure I come back with my right. Why? Because his left hook's coming, right? We saw him get hit with the left hook how many times? Why is that? Because all he tried to do was kill him with a power shot, thought that he was going to buckle and fold to it, and he didn't. Now, the more superior fighter should have made the adjustment like his corner was telling him, but he didn't listen, right? So, even at the highest level, we saw a guy not respect who was in front of him, not listen to his corner and make the adjustment as he should. Because think about it. What is something that we talked about Tank does well? Everything. We said patience, power, speed, foot movement, IQ. Did we see any of that?
You think something's going wrong?
Let me finish. I think you said something going wrong.
No, in the corner, I'm talking about with the corner with the camp.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely, there was stuff going on that just didn't fit the puzzle together. But let me say it again, though, man. It ain't taken away from Lamont Roach. If a question is asked and people don't ask a question you don't want to hear the answer.
Team Roach did their job.
They did their job. Roach took advantage of his moment. But when you ask a question, was Tank the fighter we've been seeing? No. Because why? We've seen Tank make adjustments. We've seen Tank set shit up. And when you heard Tank in the media, what did he say? It's on me.
Yeah, he didn't make it.
It's on me. I should have done this. I should have done that. Tank, was there issues in camp? Yeah, but it's on me. It's all good. We're going to chuck it up. It's a learning curve and we're going to go back to work. That's how you really handle it. Because here's the thing, bro. Every single one of us and everything we do in our jobs, we all have an off night. Yes or no?
Correct.
So, how many people, when you look at the media right now, all these fighters that have been dying to do a little tweet and say something slick because he didn't perform the way he normally does.
So that's nice.
That's
the wave. That's
the wave of what it is.
Yeah, that's today's
but
age.
Now,
we do this shit too. We do this shit right now.
Yeah, but that's our job. Our job is to talk about the narrative of what really transpired. You know what I'm saying? So I feel in a rematch, it's a different fight. I think Roach is gonna have to get on his leg and fight because Tank ain't just gonna sit in the booth with him. It is gonna be a different fight, and the reason it is a different fight is because you ain't telling me Tank got to that point being basic. And anybody that said it was basic, you just jumping on the bandwagon because you saw the guy that was supposed to dominate didn't have his night, right? But that's what makes great fighters. You go back and you adjust and you say, oh, he wasn't hitting me when I was boxing. Let me get back on that shit and start setting up. How many times we seen Tank be patient and hit them with the shot they don't see?
I said it. I didn't even see him rip no uppercuts.
Look how patient he was with Rodney. Look how he caught the shot, came underneath, landed. He was very patient. He didn't have respect for Lamont Roach. And let's keep it a buck. He didn't have respect for him. You sold the fight because you're like, yeah, we fought in amateurs, yeah. But you thought he was going to bitch up, and you thought he was going to be able to touch his ass and he was going to fold. That's what he thought.
You think Tank carried Lamont that fight? He carried Lamont through the fight?
No. Fuck. That'd be a disrespect to Lamont.
Yeah,
no.
You can't. I seen it earlier. So
you can't carry somebody that takes a shot. That nigga took the shot and gave it back. Like, no. We ain't stretching that.
No,
that would be.
I seen it earlier, so I'm just.
That would be disrespectful. That'd be disrespectful to Lamont. No, he didn't carry him. I just think Tank didn't do what he was supposed to do. Period. And Lamont did. Lamont took advantage of the moment and did what he did. You know what I'm saying? But people have to understand, if you ask the question, do you think the same fight happens again in the second fight? Absolutely not. I don't see the same way. No, can't. Because the more skilled fighter has more things he can do.
140. What's the next fight to make for Antoine Russell Jr.?
Boy, let me tell you something about him.
Him and Pulo need to get it on?
Boy, let me tell you something about him. Let me say something about Russell. All you young bucks need to understand something. The first punch we teach in the gym is the jab. My man had that jab. He had that shit running all night. Up, down, double, triple, down, up. And then look how easy it was to land everything else after, bro. That was the epitome of showing somebody that you're trying to teach fight. Go watch that fight. I called my fighter and said, do me a favor. You cry about the jabs we throw. Go watch that fight again and show me how many jabs he threw.
He takes a lot of clean shots though in between them.
He did.
In between, he takes a lot of clean shots, and then that can't.
So, but here's the best thing about boxing, bro. You go watch the film, and you don't think his brother's gonna say, "Hey, man, we gotta tighten this shit up. You getting hit with this same shot. You can't be doing that with a power puncher, right?" So that's the best thing about boxing is that you get to keep climbing the ladder and getting better. That goes from even the greatest fighters, bro. We keep learning, right? You don't think Floyd went back and watched the first fight with Madonna and realized, oh, when I went to the ropes, he was touching me, dropping that shit overhead. But where did Floyd take the rematch to? What happened in the middle of the ring? Floyd was on his legs and outboxed the shit out of him, right? It's called adjustment, people. Great fighters make adjustment, and that's what I look to see happen with Tank and Lamont is an adjustment. But with Russell, he did the basics, bro, and Rayo didn't know how to control it. You know why? Because the transitions were beautiful.
He was changing speed.
Beautiful, bro. And he got a 10. Because he walked into some couple shots, and I'm like, oh shit.
Who else was hitting him with some shit too?
You know what I'm saying? But remember, here we go. That's a perfect example, right? You just asked me last time we talked about Pujols and Russell. Russell was supposed to win that fight, right? Because he was the more skilled fighter, right? Not just on paper, but he was the more skilled fighter overall. And when you line him up and you watch him fight, you're like, oh yeah, he definitely got it, right? Pujols came out and did his job and took advantage of what Russell wasn't doing, right? So now, what was the same thing we talked about last week? Is Russell going to be able to rebound from the loss that he took? And what was my answer? We're going to find out if he's a great fighter or a good fighter, because they're going to make an adjustment and do what they're capable of doing, or he's going to fold.
Yeah, but Pujols and Rayo's two different fighters.
No, they are, but the point is, the only way to gauge a fighter, bro, is by what he does the next fight, right?
Okay.
So either you do what you're capable of doing, or you don't. It don't matter who it is, right? When you listen to the commentators interview and talk about the fight, everybody said, Gary's coming off a loss. He's got a chip on his shoulder. He's going to want to show everybody he had a bad night. What did he do?
No, he went out there.
Came back and had a beautiful night, right? So now, why does that scenario not go for every boxer, right? He's a prime example of what it was said. He had an off night against, what's his name,
Pujols. But why did he have an off night? I'm saying he fought Pujols.
But guys, you gotta.
Stood in there.
But guys, you gotta.
But he didn't do nothing. Listen,
you got.
Think about it, right? Just think about the fight, because he stood in that pocket with him, right? They stood in there, and that's.
But he didn't. Let me ask you a question though.
He wasn't. He didn't throw. He didn't let his hands go like.
So let me ask you a question. Hold on. What'd you say?
He didn't let his hands go, but.
Okay, so where's the adjustment at?
But still, here's the thing. What I'm saying though, right? Yes, he adjusted. Yes, but why would you be so confident that he beat Pujols like that?
Because think about it, guys. You can't say somebody has more talent and does more things, but then when he goes out to a fight and he doesn't do it, and all of a sudden the shit disappears. No, it's not just one fight. It's one thing to say if he wasn't doing these things fight after fight, but when you go in and you have a bad fight and you do and you don't follow game plan and you're not listening and you're not doing what you're supposed to be doing, why can it not be an off night? Why can that not be called an off night? We see it in sparring all the time. They go in, you get you, but you gotta remember though.
But all right. So let me say it like this. So you can't just because you had an off night, you can't say a person can't go discredit in the next month.
No, but see that's the difference though. You didn't. The question you asked, I didn't discredit Pujols.
I'm not saying you discredit. Yeah. I'm just saying
he took advantage of the moment. Why? Russell didn't do what he was supposed to do. He was getting hit with shit. He was not countering. He was a second late, right? So now when you watch the fight, you're like, damn, man, I ain't seen Russell get hit with shit like that, right? I ain't seen him. Yeah, okay, you're moving up into a better fighter, but there's no bad shit. What I'm saying is, if you didn't see Joey get hit with a hook all the time, and all of a sudden we go on fight and I'm getting hit with this check hook all the fucking time, you'd be like, what the hell's going on? I ain't never seen him get hit like that. You know what I'm saying? So it has to be a point to where you say, nobody's discrediting the guy who wins. But if the guy is better overall, bro, yes, there is a difference. And if they fight again, you're going to see an adjustment by the better fighter. Right? Because how you going to tell me I got a toolbox full of tools, and the first time I used it, I only used this tool, but now you're going to tell me I can't use the rest of my tools that I didn't use? Come on, think about that.
So, the other day, seen Coach Fernando. Shout out to Coach Fernando, man.
Shout out to Fernando.
I seen him put up, he put out a post and he said, if you've never boxed, back here about what, but it was sensitive.
Oh, if you never boxed before, how can you coach and lead?
Do you agree with that? I thought it was a good question. And there's guys, like Goosen, and you got
let me say it like this.
I know there's a few guys, but like he said, they sat in the background and watched and learned.
Okay, so now here's where I think Coach Fernando meant, and Coach, we know each other and cool, and it's all love too. I don't think he meant it to guys that are learning the game. What I think he is referring to are personal fitness trainers that are in Gold's Gym trying to do mitts and think they're a boxing coach, right? Because here's the thing. Anybody that is willing to get in a gym and sit behind people and learn the craft, yes, they are capable of coaching because they're behind somebody to learn the game. A lot of the greatest coaches in the world were not good professional fighters, nor did they have good careers. Right?
Yeah, but you get in the ring, but you've been in there, you get in that
fight. But think about it. Let's use an example. Castamano was an amateur boxer. How much could you really learn as an amateur to become one of the best pro coaches? He learned, right? He got around other great minds. He picked up you go watch film and you learn the game. Because here's the thing, man. I'm not saying Fernando's wrong. I think he's right to a certain extent because there's a grain line. But let's be clear. In every sport, just because you play don't mean you're going to be a good coach. If that was the case, Michael Jordan would have been an amazing coach. You know why Michael Jordan said he couldn't be a coach? Because his expectations are his. Everybody can't be Michael Jordan, right? So how can you got to learn how to coach 10 different kids because they're all different. Right. So to say, and now just because you fought doesn't mean, okay, guys fight all the time and they lose. Does that mean you're going to be a good coach?
Sometimes. Look at Freddie Roach.
Right? But that's good though, right? Freddie Roach said, yo, I'm going to be a better, you know what made him a good coach? Let me tell you what makes good coaches in any sport.
Discipline.
Chino, you can be a very good coach. I can be a very good coach. Miss Angie behind the camera over there can be a very good coach, right? Hi, Angie. So now, if a kid chooses Chino, does that discredit Angie and Joey as being a good coach? No. It's the coach that can get that kid.
It's chemistry.
Chemistry. But when I was taught coaching, it was the coach that can get that kid to go to that next level or get that kid to do anything he says. That's the coach for him. Now, everybody that fights can't do that, right? I've seen fighters that fight that can't coach worth a shit. You know why? Because it takes a different level of patience to coach somebody.
Okay.
Good coaches know how to take the guy that ain't never boxed and teach him something, right? But now a good coach is going to go find another coach and learn the game. Let me go learn, right? Because it's called learning. Number one, it's called learning, right? Right. Anything we do in life, how do you learn?
You gotta learn.
You go pick up a book, you go learn something, and you learn. So it's capable for anybody. But I understand what Coach Fernando's saying. I think he's talking.
Listen, I agree. I agree. I said something similar to that, and I got attacked.
No, because the thing is, you have to understand there's a divine line, right? Because, like I said, some of the greatest amateur coaches, bro, reach to these kids differently. You can have a pro boxer that's been fighting but can't go into the gym and get kids' attention because they don't know how. But guess what? When you came in the ring, you was amazing, right? You was able to do your job. There's different levels and avenues for everybody. But like I said, to his point, I think he meant to the personal trainers, fitness trainers that are doing, because Coach Fernando's a good guy. He's been around all the gyms. He's been around everybody that knows boxing.
Yeah, again, this was nothing. Yeah. This was nothing. I thought it was a good. I
thought it was a very good talking point.
I thought it was a good.
But I just think that,
again, I don't disagree.
Like I said, I think it comes down to.
I said the same thing before.
I mean, I've had people try to challenge me and tell me, "Oh, you weren't this." Okay, but let me ask you a question. How many pro fighters have you trained and take them to make them wins? Right? Just because you fought don't mean it makes you a good coach. What makes you a good coach is learning how to coach somebody mentally, physically.
Listen, when you be a coach, you always got to be willing to keep learning.
Great coaches learn from other great coaches.
Right.
You know who said that? Nick Saban and Belichick. You know how many coaches coached in other sports that never played a lick of pro ball, but they became amazing coaches?
But again, you got guys like Goose and them, man. You got Herb Virgil. You got
And now, guess what?
Yeah, there was somebody else that I thought about. I wanted to bring him up, and I can't.
But look, you get a guy that starts off as a fitness coach, right? And then all of a sudden, he really starts getting intrigued by the game. Now, that person decides and takes it upon himself to say, I really want to learn this game of boxing. I really want to learn it. Now you go around and you start being around people who know the game. Now you start learning. Damn, you know what? I want to keep learning. I'm going to go watch film. Damn, you know what? I want to go watch it live. I want to be around live sparring. I want to hear what they're coaching. What happens, bro? Like anything, when you put your mind to it, you start learning it, and you start doing it, then you're going to start teaching it, right? So I think there's a line between what he was saying. I don't think he meant the guys that learn it from other people. I think he's talking about people that are in a fitness gym doing all this spit shit, but then don't know. They think they can go in their coach to fight.
Yeah, again, I thought it was a good talking point. Listen. I said that a while back.
You got attacked.
Oh man!
Because think about it. You know what I'm saying? I think that's what he meant.
All respect to the coach. No,
and look,
it was a good question, and I agree. It's a good question.
Listen. When I see somebody teach somebody, when I think you asked me the other day about, man, Joey, I love you, bro. You look happy when you coach me. You know what makes me happy coaching is teaching young men and women to be better outside the ring. When I coach somebody, it ain't just boxing; it's about life. Teaching to be a better brother, sister, friend, father, whatever it is that you're coaching, that to me what makes coaching. People who can do that. And then you're teaching the craft, because boxing's a beautiful sport, right? It's a beautiful science, you know what I'm saying? So I just think that there's coaches who do fitness, and there's coaches who put time to be real coaches. And those are the ones that teach. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Fernando, though. That's my boy, man. He's a good guy. He's got actually his two sons I know box, and one of them are up and coming, so he's getting them right.
That kid shut up like wildflower too, yo.
He's getting them right, man. I see him. So shout out to Fernando.
All right, man. We're gonna wrap this up, man. I want to give a shout out to Arm 365, man. Shout out to True Chant. Going on, yo.
And we're over here at El Rancho. You heard?
Don't step up in that ring if you can't bang nothing. I got a left and a right for your mama son.